Them gyal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked. Them gyal are wicked, them wicked, them wicked.
Guys, so we have an update on the Xavier Worthy situation. If you guys don't know, he was arrested for domestic violence, and then it's coming out that his fiance, hopefully ex-fiance by now, lied. Let's take a listen.
All right, we have some news, some updates to the Xavier Worthy arrest, and it was important enough that I felt like I should give you an update ASAP. If I'm going to be quick to give you an update when news breaks, i.e. Xavier Worthy has been arrested on alleged assault charges, and I say, oh my gosh, I need to go let everybody know just, hey, this is kind of what's going on, and this is all the news we have. Well, if we get an update, then the very same night that authorities have declined to press charges against Worthy, I needed to keep that same energy in my response to getting back an update to you guys that I believe is important as soon as humanly possible. Let's just dive straight into the situation.
So this whole incident happened on Friday. Apparently he got arrested on Friday. And as they said, the very same night, they decided that no, it's not, there's not enough evidence. But let's take a listen.
Worthy was arrested this morning. Most of us know that by now, on alleged assault charges. Well, listen to this. The charge against Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy is being declined by Williams County District Attorney Sean Dick in a statement to the Austin American Statesman, quote, Mr. Worthy and his lawyers are fully cooperating with the investigation. So
now there is a difference between the charges being dropped and the charges being declined. Let's put emphasis on that. She did not drop the charges because a lot of these domestic violence victims, they will, get beat, call cops, them charge the man and everything, and then eventually drop the charges because they don't want to see the heartstring go to jail. Now, if the charges were declined, that's an indication that there wasn't enough evidence for even bring charges to the man. So it's not she, the little wicked girl, dropped the charges. Is the attorneys are like, there is not enough evidence, so we're declining these charges. So if there was a little bit more evidence, she would not drop the charges. She would have still sit down there and make the man reputation, make the man career get affected by her lies.
It seems like the case, or at least the initial charges, the assault, family, household member, impeding breath circulation charge, that is a potential felony. The court did list it as dismissed / declined, which means it's
again not dropped. Okay.
Signifies that the prosecution has decided not to pursue the case further and the legal action has been terminated. This is good news in theory, very quickly for this to happen for Xavier Worthy, meaning it's looking very good, even in the eyes of the district attorney, that what is being accused most likely didn't happen. The investigation, I believe, is still ongoing, but Seth Kaiser is a lawyer by trade. Okay, and this is what he had to say. That is fast. In reaction to the authorities having declined to press charges against Worthy. He said, that is fast, without knowing details. The only reason I would no charge that quickly is if something was presented to me that made me convinced that the report was not true. He had a couple
And it's like, for them to say that was fast. So my whole thing is, why was he even arrested in the first place? Why does this man even have a mugshot in the first place if there was no evidence to back it up? That is my concern here. This man now have a mugshot out on the internet for years and years. From now, people can just Google him, see his mugshot, and though people we all know many people don't do their proper research in this situation. Anybody who wants to ruin his reputation or anything can show, here, look, he has a mugshot.
Man, this is some bullshit.
Why was he even arrested in the first place? And then if the charges can be declined this quickly, what will be the consequences of the chicken head who make these allegations? What are her consequences? Let's continue.
Follow-up responses that I found it was important to include. One thing worth noting is that they did not treat it as an under review. They actively declined to charge it. That's an important difference there. Actively no charging, which you can always change your mind on with that language, means I don't think this happened. And he says that generally. That means I don't think this happened. Their reference to a third-party witness is crucial. Basically, they looked at the LE reports, spoke with a third party after reviewing the statements by the alleged victim, so Worthy's fiance or wife, and then Xavier Worthy himself. They looked at body cams / pics, etc., and decided very fast that there's no PC to charge. And what he means by no PC to charge means there is most likely no probable cause to charge. Probable cause?
So my thing is, why they didn't look up this before they charged the man and before they go make this man get a mugshot? Why they didn't search? I mean, somebody in the comments probably know more than me. Why they didn't do all of this research before they go arrest the man? So you mean to tell me, so then anybody can call, a woman can call the cops on a man and say, oh, he put his hands on me without any evidence or anything like that. The man gets arrested, have to spend nights in jail before he can see a judge, take his mugshot and everything. I don't ever want a picture of a mugshot. No, that's one picture I will decline. Until you can prove, I need to see proof that I did a crime before you take a mugshot. And as it should be, again, as I said, no, this man mugshot is out there. He has a mugshot on his record. And no, it's not as bad as being charged, but it's still something. You have a mugshot. You don't want to have a mugshot.
Is a reasonable belief based on facts and circumstances that a crime has been committed or that evidence of a crime will be found in a specific place or on a particular person. And here's kind of some context to how they even got to this. After Worthy was arrested on this alleged charge, the attorneys of Worthy said, we are aware of the allegation that led to Mr. Worthy's arrest. This is what they had to say in a statement after he was initially arrested. We are working with law enforcement in Williamson County to ensure they have the benefit of the totality of circumstances that led to this allegation. It turns out there was some infidelity going on. Mr. Worthy asked her to leave after discovering her infidelity. She has refused to do so and made a number of extortative efforts prior to resorting to this baseless allegation against Mr. Worthy. So that was
prior to resorting to this baseless accusation, meaning she tried and tried and tried, and the last thing in her chamber was to make false accusation. And women can do this because there are no consequences. There are no consequences to these false accusations, so they just throw it out there. False accusation, false accusation. You get a false accusation. You get a false accusation. They just throw it out there because there are no consequences. And then it would have been us so bad if we didn't live in a society where it's believe all women. So you mean to tell me, say, hear how messed up this is. You mean to tell me, say, we can rally behind something that says believe all women. Meanwhile, there are no consequences for false accusation. If the feminists lies, they care as much as they claim they do, there would have been consequences for false accusation, because that's just a spit in the face for women who are actually assaulted, women who are actually victim of domestic violence, women who actually had to go through this thing. This is just a spit in the face and disgrace. So why aren't there any consequences to these false accusations? If you falsely accuse someone of assault, you need to serve the amount of term that they would have served if it was true. You need to serve that. Because at this point, you're wasting taxpayers' money. You're wasting people's time, them having to investigate and all these things when you know, you sit on there and you know says lie.
Was the pushback from the lawyers is, hey, this is what's going on. This is extortative. Mr. Worthy discovered her infidelity, has asked her multiple times to leave, and there was damage even done to him. They talked about his hair being pulled out and a couple other things. They said they have video proof of all of this, photo evidence, all of it. And by the way, the DA who made the decision not to accept the case said, quote, pending completion of the investigation by the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, we will continue to evaluate the case. As is our practice with all declines, should you develop additional information indicative of probable cause in this case, our office will consider that information and may present the case at that time to a Williamson County grand jury. So again, for this to happen so quickly, that is appearing like good news in the favor of Xavier Worthy. This morning, reported on it, just what was going on, was definitely frustrated because the Chiefs are the most arrested team. They've had the most arrests since 2017. It seems like offseason after offseason after offseason of issues like this. Rice's was the season prior. So to be frustrated with everything going on could appear like I was being a bit more harsh than I needed to be on Worthy. Even though I said innocent until proven guilty, the frustration definitely boiled over, and I am fine to say, hey, I needed to keep the same energy when this was dropped this morning. Then, as to right now, that's why you're getting this update. The investigation, to some extent, by the police is still ongoing, and if they find anything else worth presenting, I guess things could continue. But for right now, the fact that this happened so quickly, the fact that authorities declined to press charges against Worthy, that is boding well in his favor. You guys deserve to know that, and I felt like it was important enough to give you that update.
He needs to keep that same energy that he claimed he had to call out the girl. Call out the accuser. Keep the same energy in calling out the accuser. Because as I said, unless they have to deal with the consequences, they're going to continue to make these false accusations, playing with this man's life, playing with this man's future. And what if this was a regular everyday man who couldn't afford the kind of attorney that Xavier could afford? What if this was just a regular, everyday man? Just, average earning man, average man. Because you caught your woman cheating, now she's going to make false accusation, and you can't afford no top tier attorney. So now you have to sit in jail. That's what I said in the previous video I did. The first video I did on this topic. Record. Make sure you have evidence. Record. Press charges. The minute she puts her hand on you, press charges. Call the cops. Even if you don't press charges, let the record show that you call the cops on her, because that will go a long way. A lot of times, because I tell you, I watch a lot of Snap, and a lot of times whoever called the cops on the other person, the record will show that, yeah, it's domestic violence, but he is majority of the time the one to call the cops. Of course, we live in a feminist society, so they can't twist it and they can't turn it on it, but at least you're doing everything you can do to protect yourself. Manosphere Highlight Daily end his video saying, protect yourself. Y'all, the ghetto. Go check out the first video I did on this topic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.